day 91 of the journey to pro MMA and bodybuilding. It is push day. We're going to be hitting chest, shoulders, and triceps, and it's going to be fantastic. As I mentioned in a previous vlog, one of my physique weak points is definitely my upper chest, so we are going to keep on focusing on that part of my chest more than any other for the time being. We're still going to hit, normal push movements with my chest, but instead of doing a normal fly and instead of doing just a second press movement like we've been doing, we're going to do some incline barbell bench, and we're going to do some low to high flies. It's funny because I was thinking it through the other day, and, when you don't think about these things, like, actively, it can be easy to, not realize why things are happening. Like, when I put my physique photos into that AI, and it told me those 3 weak points, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense that my upper chest wouldn't, that it would be a weak point. I haven't been doing any incline pressing of any kind, like literally none. And then I was like, wait, why is that? And I realized why. It's because every time I've tried an incline press, I feel it more in my shoulders than anywhere else, really. So what I'm considering doing is either taking out a shoulder movement, because my shoulders are definitely not a weak point. Those are one of my strongest points on my physique right now. Either that or just cutting down a little bit on what I've been doing there, because, it's like I met this guy at my gym, which, I'm only a few days into working out at this new gym, so I don't know if this is true, but from what I've seen so far, he's the biggest guy there. His name's Jacob. Freaking huge, like really, really incredible. And something he was talking to me about as he structures his plan and his workout is he was like, if you're talking to doctors or, and they're prescribing you something, there's a reason why the phrase as needed is often included. Like it's, if your arms are not a weak point, you can hit arms once a week, and be fine. Like, if it's not a weak point, then it's not as needed. And that's just how it goes, and everybody's body's different. Different bodies respond differently to different things. And so what I'm realizing is, as I'm, structuring out my year, and as I am utilizing these last multiple months that I have being in the States, being on a very routine, a very regimented lifestyle, is I need to correct my weak points as much as possible, because obviously I'm still going to be, working regularly and training regularly while we're traveling full time. But it is possible that there are going to be days when that is going to be more difficult. And there are, it is likely that I may only be able to hit each muscle group once a week, and I'll just have to do extra volume and extra intensity. We're still, we're going to see how that shakes down. I'm still going to be able to do stuff while we're out there. But regardless, that means that now, while I'm super regimented and I have a very clear routine that I can very clearly maintain every day, that this is the time to really get some work in on correcting some of these weak points. And with my waist, it's pretty simple. It's a matter of dieting down. My hair is sticking out. It's annoying me. It's just a matter of dieting down. And that's, something that I'm doing right now. And I'm actually, honestly, I've been so, I don't know, I'm an extreme person. If you guys couldn't tell already, I'm a very extreme person. And so at this point, I've been so frustrated at the speed at which my weight has been coming off part of me just wants to jump down to a 1,500 calorie deficit and just really start dumping some weight off, and just do like a month on that, and then 2 weeks going up to 500, and then a month on that, and then 2 weeks going up to 500, just so that my metabolism doesn't die. But that would move things a lot faster. You know, I'm wanting to be lean by summer. And at the rate I'm moving right now, I will be, but it won't be as lean as I want, and it'll be like midway through summer. It won't be at the start of summer. So, I just don't know. We're going to have to figure that out. There is a likely, you know, there is a chance I will be hopping on a much stricter and more deep deficit, which honestly could be achieved by just doing more cardio, which, I mean, once I get back into MMA training here in the next week or two, that's going to be happening anyway. So as long as it's happening anyway, you know what I might do is, instead of upping my calories when I get back into MMA like I was, maybe just leaving them where they are. That would take another 500 to even like 750 off of my intake every day. Cumulative? Yeah, cumulative. There it is. Cumulative intake for the day. But that could also harm recovery. So we're going to have to experiment. We're going to have to experiment, but I want to cut weight at a much higher rate than I'm doing right now. And I know, obviously, there are concerns with that. Of course, you know, you want it to be sustainable. You don't want to dump all of that weight and then just immediately gain it all right back. I know. I've spoken with enough people to know that that's the case. But, you know, in May of last year, which I'm just now realizing, you know, not that far away from being a year ago, just crazy, I dropped down to 1,000 calories of cumulative intake a day. Like, I lost almost 5 pounds a week that month for the first 3 weeks, and then it got to be so bad I cut off of it. But I didn't gain that weight back. It stayed off because I stayed regimented. You know, I stayed regimented, but I let myself get more extreme for a month. And as long as I'm capable of doing that, I mean, yeah, it'll be a miserable month, but I may as well if the weight's going to stay off. So I'm thinking I may do that. We're going to have to see. I'll have to be very prepared for that. I would have to do some very serious meal prep ahead of time, which is what I'm thinking I'd probably do. I'd literally meal prep like 2 weeks in advance, and I would make sure that the only snack food that I have is extremely micro-calorie, and, you know, I'd probably stock up on like some juices, you know, things like that that'll make me feel like I'm taking in things that are actually low calorie. You know, lots of salads. You guys get the gist. So I may do that too. So anyway, we're just, you know, I'm toying around with that idea because I'm not happy with the rate at which I'm losing weight right now. But, you know, I'm trying to be grateful still, because obviously I've come a long way since January of last year. You know, I've cut now, I guess, 55-ish pounds, maybe 60 from the start of that year. So it's a big deal, you know. I mean, that's a lot of weight gone. But if I focus too much on how far I've come, then I'll get complacent, and I am not interested in complacency. I want to see what I am like lean. So we're going to keep pushing. Yeah. I am also figuring out, you know, it's funny. I was looking into what it would take to get some one-on-one training regularly from some of the like ex-UFC guys in the area. But honestly, they've all been so slow to respond and so inconsistent that I'm thinking, I just sent an email today. I'm literally just going to see if my coaches at Aero Athletics, if any of them are available for one-on-one training. Because at this point, I mean, they're all either current pros or ex-pros too, you know, even if it's not UFC. Because I need one-on-one training. And I need it either once a week or once every 2 weeks. You know, to really get some serious progress. And the nice part about that is that also means that I would potentially, most likely, be able to get a lot more content for you guys, because since it's not since it's not a class setting, I won't have to worry about kind of getting in the way of everyone else by getting better footage. You know, I could even bring a friend or bring my wife and, you know, literally film the entire session, which would be great. That would be fantastic. You know, it would give you guys more of what you want. It would satisfy a lot of my trolls on Instagram. What am I saying? Nothing will satisfy the trolls on Instagram. It'll satisfy the people who want more MMA content from me. You know, so it's just kind of a win-win-win-win-win-win-win. I'll kill like 8 birds with 1 stone if we're able to start doing that. And if it's all at Aero Athletics, that means that I won't have to drive like 2 hours, you know, once a week or once every 2 weeks just to get one-on-one training. So I still plan on doing a few sessions with some of the ex-UFC guys just because that'll make for good content. But as far as regular training, I'm thinking that that's probably a no-go. But yeah, so anyway, I think that's enough yapping for the start. I've been yapping a whole lot more recently. I've been kind of letting myself do that more because I'm realizing I like to do that. And I'm not really worried about optimizing for growth on YouTube because this is just me connecting with you guys. And honestly, watching me lift is probably the most boring part of these videos, if I had to guess. So anyway, that's everything. You know, we are carved up right now on, I mean, not super carved up. I ate, you know, 1 serving of protein oatmeal, but it's slow burning carbs. I still feel pretty empty, which is good. I don't like to lift completely fasted, but I like to lift with just a little bit in me, which is what I'm doing today. And, you know, got some good pre-workout, feeling the itches, the beta-alanine is kicking in. We're feeling good. So it's going to be a good lift. We're going to get an insane chest pump. We're going to really, really work on my upper chest, really cook my upper chest. Yeah, and then just kind of maintain everything else because my triceps and my shoulders are both strong points on my physique, so we don't have to pummel those as hard. So yeah, we're also going to do my full recovery routine, which is great. You know, we're going to hit the sauna, we're going to go for a swim, and we are going to do some mobility stretching in the hot tub. Straight fire, bro. It's good stuff. Let's get into it.
You're good, bro. What I'm doing today is going for a few minutes on, a few minutes off. Just doing ones and twos. Apparently. This thing isn't done though.
That's gonna wrap up day 91 nicely. Whew, man. This routine that I'm on here of like hitting the heavy bag afterwards and then swimming and sauna dehydrates you, man. Whew. Right after I get done, I like to grab a little like Powerade or something like that has some electrolytes in it, you know. Anyway, fantastic lift. Goodness, so good. Every muscle group feels more than adequately pumped. Just feeling great. This was a very healthy feeling lift. And something that I started doing, I did 3 rounds of it. You know, I'm not showing it as much in the vlog because I like going live on Instagram to do this. But when I'm doing the heavy bag, I'm doing something now where it's like 3 minutes on, 1 minute off, 3 minutes on, 1 minute off, and I go through several rounds of that. Eventually, I want to get to the point where I'm doing 5 minutes on, 30 seconds off, 5 minutes on, 30 seconds off. But I've been getting really good advice from the people in my live comments. There's a dude who's done Muay Thai for like 8 years who always joins. So I'm learning rapidly from all of that, which is just awesome. I mean, it's so cool to be able to do that, to have people's knowledge at your fingertips right there, you know. Hair's going crazy though. So yeah, it's great. I'm burning a lot of calories, you know, working on getting my gas tank up as I'm throwing punches, you know, kind of getting used to that, still throwing with some level of power even after several minutes of going and going and going, you know. It's just kind of working on getting my gas tank up, you know. My technique usually starts failing by the end because of the exhaustion, you know, the fatigue starts building up. But before I hit that point, I think I'm seeing a lot of improvement in my form. The improvements today came after I ended filming for the vlog, so my bag work is gonna look a lot sloppier in this vlog than it ended up being by the end of the day. But tomorrow you guys will be able to see a little bit better what I'm talking about. But yeah. Anyway, really solid lift. Triceps, shoulders, and chest all feel extremely pumped. Upper chest is feeling really good, really targeted, you know. As y'all saw, I went a little lighter on my shoulders than usual. Just kind of went for some high reps with just the 50s, you know, instead of going up there. And I think that's good. I've been feeling a little bit of pain in my right shoulder anyway, so as I'm focusing on my upper chest, I'm naturally going to hit my delts a little bit more than usual. So yeah, we're doing good. And man, oh wow, those low to high chest flies, whew, that might be my favorite exercise that I do right now. Like, oh goodness, it feels so good. It feels so right on my upper chest. Like, it just, wow. I love it. Like, I actually look forward to lifting every day, but I especially look forward to that exercise. So good. Oh, it's just wonderful. But yeah, so anyway, we're gonna go home. I am going to just, you know, really hydrate an insane amount, but I'm not going to eat much. I think I'm going to make a protein shake. I might have a protein drink left from the Arnold that I got for free. If so, I'll drink that. I'm going to drink something protein just to get some protein in my system, you know, while I'm still kind of right after working out. But other than that, I'm going to try and just kind of not eat until my final meal of the day. We are going to go severely under calories today. And as long as my body reacts well to it, I may just keep doing that. You know what's weird though? Swimming, random thing for you. Swimming today, I didn't realize how much of a back exercise swimming is. And wow, I feel it in my lats. Like, my lats feel incredibly sore right now. I'm thinking I may do less swimming. I don't know. I do like swimming though, because it's just a good way to kind of get some circulation going, start clearing the toxins out of my system, you know, from all the built up lactic acid from lifting. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't want it to interfere with anything else. I don't want it to add extra fatigue where I don't need it. So we'll just have to keep monitoring. You know, tomorrow is back and biceps, so I really don't want my back feeling as sore as it is right now before I go hit back day, because that's just not going to be fun. It's not going to be a fun lift. And it's going to be hard to tell what's a pump and what's actually just soreness, you know? But anyway, strong work today. Looking forward to tomorrow, day 92. If you're not already subscribed, I'd really appreciate if you'd subscribe. You know, we're continuing to push hard, continuing to do well, and we're just going to keep growing the physique, becoming more aesthetic, and growing in my technique, becoming a better fighter, little by little, baby steps every single day. Showing up, consistency. It's ultimately all that really matters, consistency and intensity. So appreciate you guys for following the journey. See you tomorrow for day 92. Bye.